Yes, I went to Taehyung. As long as Taehyung is in my marriage, no one can stop me from meeting him. Speaking of son-in-law, as long as Taehyung is my married, he's basically your son-in-law. And after having a child, no one can take away his place from a mother. Right now, I'm not in a mood to take on the responsibility of getting married with Sana. It was also your wish that I get married and give you an heir of this family. So why are you getting angry now? Children will not come from sky. It is necessary to make an effort for that, and I am doing it right now. Jungkook had come to his room saying such a big thing, so calmly and peacefully, without any respect or shame, while the grandfather's face turned red for his word, and Sana stood there like a stone. Grandpa, you see, Jungkook has changed. He used to talk about nothing, expect work. He has told you so much for a boy. Let's start lighting him. I told you not to play this game with him. Now he will not accept me. Sana said in shock, putting her head in Grandpa's lap and crying. Sana, stop crying, my daughter. I'm still alive. I see how Jungkook is unfair to you. If I can bring the boy into Jungkook's life, I can also send him out of Jungkook's life too, Grandpa said, while a challenging on his face. That has happened. A few days later, Jungkook had to go out of the city. But he received the news was going to become a father. After that time, he desperately wanted to beat Taehyung and hold Taehyung in his arm, but it was impossible to leave without completing the task, for which he had to come here. Therefore, with a beating heart, all he could do was ask all the people who were there with Taehyung to take care of him. Taehyung was very saddened by the news of him becoming a mother, meaning that the days of leaving Jungkook began. They smiled sadly at his thought. The child was not his, nor was the father of his child. As the day passed, Taehyung was taken care of in every way. When he went to the hospital for checkup, the entire team would take care of him. But Taehyung had never seen Jungkook since the day. There was very sad today when his secretary came and said, Taehyung, don't be sad. This is not good for the baby. You should only think about your baby at this time. If you need anything, let me know. Taehyung looked at her. I have to meet my Appa once. He must be worried about me. I don't know what he must have said about me. Hearing the news, secretary got worried. Sir has told me that you cannot go out. Can't you even do that? Let me see my Appa. They asked with tear in his eyes, and she agreed with his word. Okay. Seeing Taehyung's innocent face, she supposed him without care about her job. Without Jungkook knowledge, she arrived Taehyung to meet his father. While Taehyung was supposed to meet his father at a coffee shop, as soon as Mr. Kim received a message, he reached there early, ahead of time. He would always think about Taehyung, Mr. Kim's second wife, and his daughter didn't like Taehyung, which led the daily arguments. Therefore, Mr. Kim thought Taehyung had left the home and said gone. Anyway, Miss Kim blamed Taehyung all the trouble in this thing's life because they considered him as a loser. Once Miss Kim didn't hesitate to raise his hand against Taehyung, and seeing this, Mr. Kim didn't become very angry. He had the first and most dangerous heart attack, after which his life became filled with more sorrow. After the regaining of consciousness, he came to know that Taehyung had gone, and no one knew where. He was lost. Where were you, Tae? When I regained consciousness, I was so worried not to see you with me. Seeing his father worried, Taehyung said sadly, Don't worry about me. I am fine. How are you? You fine? Are not you? They sat down with them and said, We didn't even have the money for a day hospital stay. How did we get a big surgery done, that too in a private hospital, without my knowledge? Tell me, what happened behind my back? Hearing his word, they got scared. Tell me, how your aunt and her daughter, they changed the suspect. They are the same they were before, but now their complexion has changed, as if they have found treasure. Even today, they had no love or respect for you in their hearts. They hold the head, and he said lovingly, My child, tell me the truth. Don't lie to me. I'm already very worried about you. Seeing his father in such a state, they burst into tears. Then he slowly gathered and said, I'm going to become a surrogate mother. I married John Jungkook for money. After giving them their heart, he divorced me. That's all Taehyung said when Mr. Kim slapped Tae hard on the face. What nonsense are you talking about? Do you think life is a joke? With whose permission did you take such a big decision in your life? Have you seen your age? Mr. Kim anger crowed. Forgive me, Abba. Tears starting fell down from Taehyung's eyes. He wringed me along with tears of Taehyung, the pain of his son, and Mr. Kim's eyes started to grow. He had not believed to save him for his hungry society. When he got up and left from there, Taehyung also got up, holding himself together, and left with a piece of broken heart. Taehyung had to get some necessary documents done so that he could continue his studies, for which he had to come to the university. Then, his secretary was going in the car. They was talking to his father on the phone, and Mr. Kim come to know the whole truth. He was angry with Taehyung, but he knew that he couldn't leave Taehyung at such a time. This is why he expect and keep Tae in a touch. Taehyung was still talking to his father when a bike suddenly came in front of the car and they lost control of the car, due to which Taehyung's side door opened and they fell from the car. They got injured and his head and blood start falling from his head. His stomach started hurting a lot, on which they start screaming to the father in pain. Mr. Kim could hear his painful sounds clearly on the phone. He also got worried. Mr. Kim was also called out there, but no one was answering his word. Then the secretary quickly got out of the car with the help of driver and picked Taehyung and said, quickly, take him to the hospital. And Mr. Kim, who was on the phone, also heard this voice and quickly left for the hospital. Taehyung's pain were increasing, and Jungkook private hospital was far away from here. They couldn't take any risk, so he had to take the nearest hospital in an emergency. When Taehyung's secretary reached the hospital, doctor told her that Taehyung had gone to labor due to an accident, so the delivery would be today. When Taehyung was taken to the labor room, his face was pale from the pain, while his head injury was causing her blood to flow. Mr. Kim also reached the hospital when Taehyung was being delivered. He looked very worried at that time. He was not worried about the baby, but about his son's life. After 4 hours, the nurse came out of the room happily and said, Congratulations, it's a boy. She went inside saying this when the secretary followed her. The secretary looked at the baby in the glass and said, How is the baby's condition? Look, it's a premature delivery. It was an accident from above. The baby needs good treatment. He's a little weak. Understanding the nurse word well, the secretary quickly contacted someone on the phone and asked to send an ambulance. She was going to take the baby to Jungkook private hospital where the best treatment would be provided. Before taking the child, she came to Taehyung, who was still unconscious at that time, and spoke respectfully to Mr. Kim. Your daughter had made a great sacrifice for you. There was something in her voice that startled Mr. Kim. Then she didn't stop and took the baby and left. Mr. Kim came to Taehyung and started loving, stroking his head. When he regained the consciousness, he said, Appa, my baby. Mr. Kim silently bowed his head. At that moment, pearls would start falling from Taehyung's eyes. Mr. Kim had taken Taehyung with him. For the past 4 months, Jungkook had been busy traveling from one country to another in connection with the work. He couldn't even get a chance to sit down and talk to him. As long as he lived in Korea, he used to see Taehyung every day, but he didn't want to let this suffer any mental pressure by taking him. While leaving the Korea, Jungkook had decided in his heart that he was returned. He would talk to Tae, tell him that he fell in love with him. Now at any cost, he will not let him go anywhere. He will bring this relationship with Tae to the whole world and make Tae his all the tradition, even if he had to face the displeasure of his family.